It's that time again. It is time for a new essay. So exciting. So, the first thing you should do is read through these assignment instructions, and this will take you through exactly what we're going to talk about now, which is how to use those databases and decide on a particular topic that you want to discuss. I do want to draw your attention to this phrase. Make sure that you're focusing on a particular country or region outside of the United States if you're talking about a general world issue. Okay, so if it's something like overpopulation, don't talk about overpopulation in general, talk about it in China or in India or in a particular place. So choose one region that is not the United States to look at. And the other thing that I have noted in here is also avoid any topics related to COVID-19. We'll talk about that part later. You're going to have at least 4 credible sources, and I want to make sure that you know how to find those. So I want to go through the 2 main databases that you're going to use for this. If you don't know much about the problems going on in the world other than the big obvious COVID crisis, then this is actually the perfect essay for you, because even if you do have knowledge, I want you to do research and learn more about it. So this is a chance for you to learn about something going on in the world. So if you're not sure how to get to the library, it is not under resources, it's under college services. You can get right there. And if you click on databases, it will take you to the list of all 160 different databases that you have access to as a Pellissippi student. You can use all of these, and I encourage you to use any and all of these. There's some wonderful things out there. There are some great film websites, film databases that you can watch amazing things as a Pellissippi student. So I'm going to click on G for our first database, which is the Global Issues in Context. The other one is opposing, let's see if I can get this exactly right. It is opposing viewpoints in context, and it's right there. The great thing about both of these websites or both these databases is they're made by the same company, so they have the exact same format. So I'm going to show you global issues and context in particular, but you can use all of these tips for either one. What you do need to keep in mind is the other one has a lot of American issues on there, so just remember to leave those out. This is deliberately looking at a wider field. So you have this area down here where you can browse issues, and there are a lot of issues. For instance, related to business and economy, you have 111, and these are broad topics. Conflict and diplomacy, 122, and there may be things that are in more than one category, such as countries and territories. That might show up on a wide variety of things. So if you don't know what you're interested in looking at, go with one of these. I'm going to click on society and culture to get us started, and this is going to give you the list of all of those that are listed there, and there are a lot of those listed there. So this is definitely something where you can get lost in it. So make sure that you're not spending too much time deciding what you want to write about. Find something that is interesting and go with that. It doesn't have to be the perfect subject, it just has to be an interesting subject. And as you may see, because it's already been highlighted, because I've clicked on it before, I am going to click on something that I don't think that most people would necessarily choose as their first choice. Art theft and restitution. This is something that's interesting to me, and so I'm going to click on it. For each of these, you're going to get a page, and it's going to start with an overview. After the overview, it's going to have all of these different types of sources, featured content, viewpoints, You may want to start with featured content if you're not sure what you want to read about. So it's going to list, I think, 3 or 4 on here, 3. And if you click on it, it will show the whole link, the whole list. This one has 73, but you only see 3 there. So just click on that list, and there may be some things that you want to talk about within this broad subject, and you may have to click on one of those longer lists to find something that relates to your point. I want to point out this overview, which can be a really helpful place for getting started. I refer to it as it's a more dependable version of Wikipedia. It is going to give you the broad strokes of it, key figures, key events, background, and it will have the general things that are interesting about it. So you can look at this and see if there's something within that that you might want to focus on. But I want to point out here in the citation, and by the way, the brilliant thing about this database is every single source has an MLA 8th edition citation that you only have to copy and paste in. So make sure when you paste it in, you choose the icon with the paintbrush so that it keeps everything that was originally italicized italicized. You can take out access dates since these are not going to be changing, unlike the ones for your previous essay. So these are helpful, sorry. But what I want you to notice about these overviews is it's going to have the name of the topic in quotation marks. It's going to have the database, their online collection, and then the database name itself. It has never been published outside of this database, so I do not want you to use this as a source. I want you to choose things that have a stronger background as a source. So it's easy to avoid the overview when you click on it as an overview. Unfortunately, you're occasionally going to find this hiding in different parts of the page. So just know if all you see is that name, then Global Issues Online Collection and Gale in Context Global Issues, know that it's something you can use to get started, but do not use it as a source on your essay. So I'm going to go back to the previous page where it has information about all of this. If you're feeling overwhelmed with all of this, there are 3,541 news articles, 73 viewpoints. If you saw something in the overview that interested you, and you'll see I've already looked through a few of them, I'm interested in the Benin bronzes. So I want to look for that. Benin. So you can look through, there's not a lot here, 5 news articles and 2 magazine articles. But as you will see, it's not from Benin, it's from Nigeria. Actually, it's from a region in Nigeria. And these are sculptures that were taken by British soldiers over 100 years ago. And so now lots of people think that they should be taken back to Nigeria so that the people whose culture this is can enjoy them there. There's a lot of controversy about whether they should be taken or whether they should be left at the British Museum. So it's something that's been in the news a lot recently, and you see a lot of articles here that are recent. One is from 2002, the rest are from the last 2 years. So that could be really helpful. If you could use an older source if it has a lot of historical information, a lot of original context information, but don't use it to be most up to date. You'll want to find something more recent for that. So you can click on these, read through, see if they're going to be helpful for you. And I will warn you, this is the part that's going to take the longest amount of time because you're going to need 4 credible sources for this. You may have a broad subject with lots and lots of sources, then it's a matter of picking really good ones. If you don't have a lot, then it's finding something that actually will be helpful to you. And I wanted to show you with this example. So there, you could go back and look at all of these. And if you realize that you found something that's too niche, where there's not enough information for you to write about, then you would probably need to pick a different subject. But in this case, I know that a lot of information has been published in the last year about this. So I would go back to my, oh, wrong part. Here, let me move this over. So I would go back to this where it lists not just from these two, also New York Times, nonpartisan government websites like .gov. Um, be careful with those because I've seen some .govs that were aimed at elementary school kids. That would not be a good use of a .gov website. At least one showing a counter argument. And do make sure that you do have something that disagrees with you to show that you've researched both sides of the story. But I'm mentioning this because the New York Times is actually one of the databases that we are subscribed to. So if you go back to this list of databases and go to N for New York Times, it has all the information here for you to create your academic pass, which is good for a year. I've already done mine, so clearly you can see that this is recent. I'm going to type in this, as you can clearly see I've done this before, and as you're researching, you probably will be doing this before. So right now, the first thing I see is 1965, the second is 1987. That's not what I want. I want to see things in the past year. So we have an opinion piece. Only do an opinion piece if you look up the person and they are well respected in their field. But this longer piece, this art was looted 123 years ago, will ever be returned from January 23rd, might be a much better choice. So I could click on that. Oops. So I can click on that and read through it. If you don't go through the steps to get your pass, you will be limited to only, I think, 5 articles per month, which is not very good for doing research. So you can do this. I also recommend trying BBC World News, where you can look at maybe what's going on in a particular continent or a particular country and go through that way. Or you can use the search box here and find articles here for it. So news sites that have a reputation for being well researched are a good place to start. So here is something from September 11th of this year, talking about it as a reaction to Black Lives Matter. That might be something really interesting. So you can look through these and see what might be helpful and make your way through. Find a topic that interests you and then work on your sources. If you get stuck, if you have problems, you can talk with me, but this is also a great place where you can remember to use this Ask a Librarian chat and just click on it like that, and you can type in your question. Anytime that the library would be open at Hardin Valley, during a normal semester, you're going to have a librarian here. So that's Monday to Saturday times. I don't think it's open on Sunday, but the rest of the time you're going to have a live person that you can chat to. And I really recommend that resource. They're amazing, especially if you're not sure what search term to use. It can be really helpful. So let me know if you have questions and have fun researching something new.